Good morning from the horse box, which has driven straight into central Chester today to meet Patrick Barker, Bespoke Tailor. Now, Patrick is going to talk about country clothing and his business of Crichton Bespoke and all about the clothes that we all love. Good morning, Patrick. Thank you very much for sparing me the time to chat this morning.
Well, firstly, good morning, Claire. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure. I'm really looking forward to doing this.
We all love a smart tweed jacket. What's your favourite item of clothing?
My favourite item of country clothing, I thought long and hard about this, and I think the raglan overcoat, I think would be where it's a certain type of sleeve, a raglan sleeve, all coming down from Lord Raglan, who lost his arm at Waterloo. So they had to devise a certain type of sleeve head for him, and it passed into style. So it hasn't got a traditional sleeve head; it's cut at an angle, and we make a lot of them, and they're a great style. But they're worn in all the kinds of different, in more urban ways, but generally in a tweed, but with a pair of jeans or polo neck or open neck shirt, and they're great. They're quite loose fitting, and you can layer up underneath them, and they're great.
Yeah. Is that a full length?
Yeah. It's a full length overcoat, cut quite full. Although we've done a shorter sort of car coat style one that finishes mid thigh, but I prefer the longer ones.
This is so interesting because there's such a lot of history behind traditional country wear, which you obviously enjoy, and your business can provide the full range. What is it that you actually get asked to make? Or
we're full bespoke, and we have no stock in the shop. So everything we make is made to order and made to measure and full bespoke. So we have a vast choice of styles that we make for all different kinds of walks of life, and sporting and business and casual. So that's one of the things I enjoy about what we do, because everything it's different on any given day, really.
So you were brought up in Wales, weren't you?
I moved to Wales as a young boy, and so I went from a London life into very much a country life, and very much embraced it. Took to it like a duck to water, because you go from London to endless space and all the bits that come with it. So shooting, fishing. Never a huntsman myself, but shooting really. I really took to shooting and was picking up with my father aged 5. I was really very into it, and still am. Still a shooter myself.
So country people like their clothing to be suitable for purpose, comfortable and long-lasting. What does it take to be really smart in that shooting world? Can you be comfortable and smart?
Yes. Well, I think the key is comfort and fit for purpose for me, for shooting clients, and being a shot myself. I know the drawbacks of what shooting clothing that isn't fit for purpose, how it feels and how it can ruin your day, really. If you feel restricted, or you can't pick your gun up, or if you're getting wet, or if you're feel restricted in any way, it can ruin the day. So for my shooting clients, comfort and being fit for purpose comes before style. The style element, obviously the choice of cloth, the little extras that you can add to make it your own, are what people come to us for. There's a wealth of very well made shooting clothing on the peg, and made by some very, very esteemed brands, but I don't think it's quite the same as having it made for you. And the choice of tweeds available to you as well. That's something.
So when you go on your sporting days, what is it that catches your eye? You must view things from the business point of view.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of shots these days that are wearing very unusual tweeds, bright tweeds. I saw a guy recently last season in a pink and grey check, which was
Did that look good?
It looked fantastic,
Yeah.
but I always think you have to know what you're doing
You have
before
to be a good shot if you come out in
before
that
you
outfit.
can pull that off. And
Yeah.
this guy was particularly good, so he pulled it off.
So he's pushing the boundaries.
He's pushing the boundaries, yeah.
Yeah, which is what it's all about, isn't it? You know,
It is. It's having your own individual style, and as I said, there's lots available out there, but it is all pretty samey in terms of colour, and there's certain brands out there which are leading the charge, but they can't afford to go out on a limb too much because it's made in many pieces, and they can't afford for them to sit there and not be sold, because people will tend to revert back to character. There are a few shooters and clients of mine that want to be a little bit different, but that's what it's all about.
Not everybody likes the brand sort of nailed to their
No,
chest, do they?
no. I mean, there's a certain. We all know it begins with an
That's
S.
That's where bespoke comes in.
Exactly.
isn't it?
No, we have customers that request obviously no exterior labelling, but even some of my clients ask for no internal labelling. It's just made for them, and it doesn't need to be.
So, is there bespoke for all budgets? Would you say?
I think when you're talking about true bespoke, I think because of the craftsmanship and the time and the quality of what we made it is expensive. That's the nature of it if it's done correctly. There's made to measure, stock specials, things like that, where you can experience clothes being made for you. True bespoke is a very time-consuming craft, and also the skills for people to have are not as evident anymore. We're lucky in our sense that we've got quite a young team.
I suppose it's expected to last, 100 years or more.
Of course it is. This comes with the price. It's not something that you wear for a season and put away and have another one. It's meant to
be handed down.
To last. We have a lot of customers that will finish the season and bring it back to us, and we'll do a little MOT of anything that might have come a little bit loose and dry clean it for them, press it for them. All part of the service, no charge to that, and then it goes back into the wardrobe for the coming season.
So country style's never really out of fashion. It always seems to be out there on the catwalk in some shape or form. Why is that?
I think because it's so eclectic, and there's so much colour involved and texture involved. It's people like to play with it. So a major sporting trainer brand had a collaboration with Harris Tweed, and they were collaborating and putting patches of tweed in a very street style trainer, and then on the catwalk, like you say, for ladies wear capes, a big and a tweed cape with gold detailing and the classic ladies hacking jacket, but worn in a much more contemporary way, or cut in a much more contemporary way. But it's the cloth, that's the tweed and cloth, and also the little details of sporting wear, so action backs and vents and that kind of side of it, which come from the practical side of it, so you can pick your gun up or sit on a horse and comfortably move. They make for interesting exterior styles. So that's why I think it's
and yet
still...
tweed, you said in our earlier chat that tweed was the original camouflage.
It was, yeah.
That's the sort of basics, is to blend.
If you're on a moor in a sporting situation and your coat is made with browns and purples and that kind of thing, that it was the original camouflage to camouflage you against your surroundings and environment.
So how do you cope with the characters that must come in and they'd like a hunting coat made, and you've got to get the wind-stayed tweed, and they probably want you to make two coats into one, or patch something that's got a date of 1800 or something in it.
Yeah.
I mean,
we see a lot of that. In hunt coats and tail coats for the clubs.
Evening dress.
For evening dress, they're passed down to younger members, and they're altered and changed.
So you can do all that?
Yeah, we do all that. We're tailors for Wednesday and Cheshires and Cheshire Forest and all customers of ours. And part of what we do is making new pieces that really have seen their day, but also these things are loved, and if they can get another season out of them here or another season out of them there, we can still order the cloth that it was probably made in initially, whether it be a little bit faded, changing collars for different colours. So we do a lot of that, yeah, we do. And like you said, we've looked in the inside label of a few, and dating back to the turn of the century. It's a proper tailoring last, like we were saying before.
So these hunt coats, they're highly prized, and they make a huge difference.
You're making something that is to be loved. You're not making something that is a flash in the pan. You want to get it right, and you're dealing with some fabulous merchants. We deal with Hainsworth, which are the one of, if not the oldest, cloth company in the UK, dating back to, they made the tunics for the Thin Red Line, and they're still making the guards, the household regiments guards tunics to this day. And
history is very important to you, isn't it? I mean,
it is.
Walking into this building, your business building is a very historic building,
yeah.
And it must be quite an experience for the customer to come into this other world. And
that's exactly how we want it to be. We've always had the view of the business as a Savile Row for the north of England. And that is everything from the finished product, the experience, and the building you're in. And we have very much a front of house and a backroom making side of things. And that's really where I spend most of my day, on the front of house. I see every customer personally myself, whether that be here in Chester or down at our London office. I spend probably half my time in London as well as Chester, and everything's by appointment really. So I can juggle my time in that way. And yeah, it's I want it to be a special thing for our customers. You want it to be a special experience from the minute they make the appointment on the phone, right the way through to the golden moment when you put something on someone's shoulders and you're looking at their face in the mirror behind them, and the smile spreads across their face, and you've done your job. You've hit a home run.
So how did Crichton Bespoke start?
Well, Crichton Bespoke is 50 plus years old. We as the Barker family have owned the business for just over 40 now, and the business that we took over was shirt makers initially,
which you still do.
Which we still do. We're still known for our shirts, and still very much shirt makers. So yes, started as shirt makers, and then in my tenure of the business, have really put a lot of effort into bringing a tailoring option to customers that rivals the best.
So you can offer a stylist sort of
yeah
experience, can't you?
Yes,
you are an advisory.
I am. I mean, I am not a tailor in the technical side of things. I have made an expertise in measuring my clients and fitting my clients at the different stages we see them. But I'm not a tailor cutting the cloth at the board. I employ all my tailors, and that goes back to what I was saying before about that Savile Row experience factor, where we have a front of house team, and then the makers, and I consult with my tailors, and I will bring my tailors into the room at certain stages of the fitting. But yes, I'm more on the stylist end of it.
So how would you assess a customer who comes to you? How do you size them up into what they could cope with?
Yeah, I mean, I take a lot of info from the minute the customer walks in the door, because they might be in jeans and a shirt, but you can take from that if the shirt is very tight. They like a more fitted look. If they've got a loose fitting, but sort of lots of cloth in the shirt, it means that they're more into, I want to be comfortable in what I'm wearing, rather than it showing that I've been to the gym.
Pressure, yeah.
So a lot from that, and then the first part of any meeting is sitting down, and we talk for half an hour. We talk about the occasion. The client might have fixed ideas about the style and the cloth, and then I can.
What's the most unusual requests that you've had from a customer?
We once had a customer who was after an orange suit, and I initially went to sort of burnt oranges and rusts and that kind of thing, and he said, no, that's not it at all. I want bright orange.
The future is orange.
Yeah, real bean tango, and we were able to find it for him, and then it was a black lining with an orange polka dot, and he went away.
And did it look good?
Yes, it did for him.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have been my style, but the guy had it in his head, and we were able to sort it.
So, with your interest in history and the shirt making process, I can't think of any historical photographs I can look back on and see sort of 1700s, men in coloured shirts. They must have been all white, and then
yes, I mean the style of the time. And Beau Brummel famously sort of coined the white shirt, the buff waistcoat, and the blue or black top coat. And before him, it would have been silks and brocades and everything, very, very fancy laces. And he really pared it down to three colours, but was obsessed with it being absolutely perfect. He would tie his stock 15, 20 times, and he would be with his valet, and he would say, no, pass it to him, no, pass it to him, no, until it was perfect. So there's only a few colours, but immaculate.
But now you can get, any colour.
Yeah. I mean, the colour, there's a great story about British Army officers in India, and they were taking a local weaved cloth, and it would be in bright check, and they would use it for tea towels and bedding and all that kind of thing. And British Army officers loved the colour of it, and they were making shirts out of this locally woven cloth. And as they washed it and it wore, the colours would bleed, and now we have it upstairs now, a Madras check, where it's quite a heavily checked cloth, but it fades and it bleeds into each other, and that's where it comes from British Army officers, colonial times, making shirts and
responding to the different
the climate
and the climate. So you are a local lad now. You went to Ellesmere College.
I did.
Lots of local people.
Yes.
So you probably have some of us your customers.
Yeah. A lot of locals, especially with the countryside and the hunting side and shooting. That they
come to you.
They come to me, and I know a lot of them. And the line between customer and friend is blurred in a lot of occasions. And I've been fortunate enough to be invited to shoots with some of our customers, and it's nice, it's a proper relationship rather than a sort of we're providing a service. We are, but there's a great mix, and the social scene around the country scene is great, and I love it.
I just have to mention the sort of, Ellesmere College school uniform, which and uniforms imposed. But would you say that country clothing is a sort of uniform, with red trousers and the eponymous waistcoats?
It is, but I think country clothing can get a bit of a bad image, especially that red trouser type of scene. That it is, but I think it can be done in a way that is very stylish.
It does look good.
Because it's the use of colour, and people can get pigeonholed. But I think the colour in it, and that comes down from equestrian and military and the different styles that are open in country clothing. You know, very very high vents in your coat. So initially, so it would have
Flattering, isn't it?
yeah.
It's
So
very
nipped in at the
flattering.
waist and then skirted in the seat, and that would have been to sit comfortably on the back of a horse. You know, and
People
so
do like experimenting with colour, even though we're supposed to be very conservative in the countryside. You know, everybody looks for Harry Mead's trousers at badminton. What colour is he going to choose this year?
Yeah.
It's a fun.
It is
Pushing
and
the boundaries.
It is pushing the boundaries,
fun way.
and it's understood within the circles, you know, and that's
Well, that leads us on to a fashion show this summer, because you're going to be at Bolesworth, aren't you?
yeah, and really looking forward to that. So we're all ready for it. It's going to be interesting. So we're going to be showing a few of our other lines there as well. We have a new ladies bespoke room just being finished at the shop, which will be ready for clients probably end of August.
Well, I've seen your mood board and I liked everything on it, so that looks really exciting.
Yeah, it's a nice mix.
So the models, are you going to have professional models, or are you going to
I think we're going to have
riders?
Yeah, I think we'll have a mix of the two, really. I think we'll have a mix of professional and some friends of mine that
should be huge
want to help out. Yeah, I can't wait. It's going to be
So
great.
who else is involved in that? What's other?
Natalie Dress will be there, and Guinea, that's the one. Yeah,
Market Drayton.
Market Drayton. So I was invited by Natalie Lloyd, who again back to that Ellesmere link. I was at school with Will Lloyd, and I was at school with Natalie Lloyd. I know Natalie, so she got in contact, and we've made Wednesday pieces for Will and Cassie, who introduced me to you. So yeah, again going back to that country community, and she said, did I want to be a part of it? And I said, yeah, of course, it'd be great.
I've got to ask you about the new fashion that I've noticed in social circles, this Nehru waistcoat, which they all seem to know looks really good.
Yeah, I was in London the other day at our London office, and at the end of the day I was walking up Clifford Street, and outside at the pub at the end of there was everyone was in one, I think, whether it was a linen one or raffia or cotton, or they were all there.
Do you make it?
We do, yeah. We've made a few. I love them myself in the shop. They're great to work in because your arms are free, but you still look very smart.
Yeah, it sort of bridges casual and
it does.
Smart very well, doesn't it? Alongside your shop, you now have the very cleverly named the Disguisery cocktail bar. How did it get its name?
Well, it was a tricky job. I was trying to name the cocktail bar, and I wanted to theme it around what we were doing next door, but not call it anything too obvious. I remember a friend of mine saying, "Why don't you call it lapels?" I said, "No, I'm all right, thanks." So the Disguisery is the collective name for a group of tailors, and also we're up on the Row. It's a little door up a side street in Chester, and it has that disguised look to it. And it's a little world in here. We're on Watergate Street. It's Friday, Saturday night. It's party street, and in here, with a bit of jazz on, and only the two rooms. You could be in Venice. You could be
it's
in
a fantastic
in
little
New York,
cocktail bar.
Could be in a shoot room.
Yeah, absolutely wonderfully atmospheric, and it must be a huge asset to your business.
It is. We're very careful how we market it. It is open to the public Thursday, Friday, Saturday. But
you keep it.
We keep it. Yeah,
private. It's an entertaining space.
Exactly. We're open mid-afternoon until 11:30, 12 o'clock. We don't go late into the night, and a lot of customers, a lot of regular clients, and it is a little best kept secret. It's
are the
great.
cocktails bespoke?
We keep a very classic cocktail list, but we are starting to get a few requests. We use actually
for what?
Just people saying, can you try this, try that? It's a new business for me, so it's interesting to be.
Do you employ a mixologist?
I do. We do. We have a mixologist. We use a fantastic. It's called Savile Row gin. So that's it's great. And yeah, we have a mixologist and we have a weekly special for exciting cocktails. But our main cocktail list is quite small but classics. And that's what the bar is really.
It's absolutely dreamy. Anyway, I'd like to go on to the quick-fire questions now. Single-breasted or double-breasted?
Double-breasted for me. Love it.
A tip for keeping the moths away or cleaning anything?
Tip for moths, peppermint oil.
And how would you put that
Just put it in your drawers, just dot it around your drawers, dot it around your wardrobe.
into the wood?
Into the wood or into the tops of the drawers, and they hate it. Yeah, peppermint oil.
Raincoat or umbrella?
Raincoat for me, of course.
I knew you wouldn't want it.
Although there is something nice about a nice bamboo cane top umbrella.
Possibly. Could look very sartorial. A matte or shiny suit?
Oh, definitely not shiny.
No.
Definitely not shiny.
Not shiny.
No.
And whose style do you take the most notice of in the public eye?
Well, I was thinking about this one, and it might be a bit generic, but I'm going to say Mr. Ralph Lauren himself, because I love the way that he is playful with his clothes. He can wear a chalk stripe, double-breasted suit with an open neck Western denim shirt, and it looks fantastic. And I think that is, from my style end of it, and that's what it's all about, that juxtaposition of wearing something that shouldn't be there. The Italians do it fabulously, how it sort of looks thrown on, but actually there's hours and hours of work gone into creating it and getting the look, but it looks like you've just gone in your wardrobe and that, and it just looks great. So I'm going to say Ralph Lauren.
Fantastic. How smart we're going to be after all this.
Yeah.
Now, finally, is there a joke or a motto that you'd like to share with us?
Let's see. Did you hear about the writer who became a tailor?
No.
He had to make an earnest living the Hemingway.
Really good. Thank you very much, Patrick. Absolutely loved it. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for having me on. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you for listening, and please share with your friends. You can also follow us on Facebook and Instagram, where you will see the first heads up on our next episode on the 1st of the month, when it could be you in the driving seat.